Welcome back, everyone, to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, where we're back for yet another episode of the Horsemen podcast. It's been a little while since you've seen the four of us together. Well, we're back after we had to work out a certain day to do this, considering two of our regulars here were away on trips to festivals or whatever else. And
Or will be.
So, before we get started, of course, to introduce everyone, of course, you should know me by now, Levi, Thrash Maniac 99. If you don't, why are you here? Joining me, above me on the screen, is the crazy Portuguese bastard that I call him to this day, Arthur Felipe Castana. And then next to me on the left is the man who, if Raphael Fireblade was here, he takes up the spotlight in the middle, Ricky, a.k.a. Horror Master.
Hello.
And then last but certainly not least, probably the person who's going to cry the most on this episode, considering we have reached her forte.
No, I will burst into flames. That's what I will do.
Because we've reached my boiling point with Metallica, Artur's with Iron Maiden. We have reached Hannah's boiling point with Rammstein today. Please welcome Hannah Klein.
Hello.
There might be a new point for me if we ever do top 10 Blind Guardian, but that's...
And then another one for me would be if we did top 10 Megadeth songs, but that's another episode for another day. So for today, as you could tell, Hannah and Ricky are wearing the band shirts for this one. We're doing top 10 Rammstein songs.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Dear Lord in heaven.
Pretty much. So
I apologize in advance for butchering most of the song's names since I don't know shit for German. The only reason I know is because of Rammstein.
Nein!
Get up here. And hand them now.
And apologies in advance for any butchery in the German-speaking language.
I was just about to say that, too. I was about to say, warning, some of us might be butchering German words, so apologies to Hannah and to any other person from Germany watching this. We are sorry. So there you go.
I will be utterly delighted to hear that.
So a good place to begin before we get started with our lists is for each of us to kind of give our mini story of how we got into Rammstein, and I'll begin. My story is very unconventional. I personally was never a big fan of Rammstein prior to this year. Like, I always heard the songs Du Hast, America, and the song Rammstein prior, but didn't get heavily into them until their new album came out back in May, which I still love. It's probably, at this point, number 2 on my top 10 albums of the year in 2019. Until Opeth Borknagar and whoever else decides to make something better. We'll see. But beside the point, it was up to this year that I finally got into Rammstein, and now I actually have a full list. So, impressive past few months for me, I would say. Ricky, how did you get into Rammstein?
I honestly don't remember if I got into Rammstein, but I think the most logical, it's between two. It was either with The Matrix, since Du Hast was the theme song for The Matrix, or the one that I think mostly everybody knows. Their music video Du Hast, we played constantly every single day until it was stuck in your brain. But strangely enough, I didn't become a Rammstein fan until 2009 when Levi came. By that time, I already had internet at my house, so I could listen to all the songs. There was no iTunes at the time, so there was no way I could listen to the rest of the songs until I got older. And they've become one of my favorite bands to the point that I really, really want to live.
Alright, Artur.
how do I get in touch with Rammstein? It's funny because my father, once again, he got me in touch with Rammstein. I must have been about maybe 15 years old when we picked up, ironically speaking, out of a U.S. Army base where they have those big old supermarkets and stuff. We got our first two Rammstein records there, which was Mutter and Sehnsucht. And my father got addicted to Rammstein. When I got the chance to listen, I thought that they were a bit industrial, but they had something different to it. And I can say that I got hooked to Rammstein from that point on. I mean, Rammstein came several times here to Portugal. I have seen them at least 2 times when they did the Levi tour, and also the Made in Germany tour as well. So there's nothing against saying that they're one of the best live bands as well. And in terms of pyro used, sorry any Kiss fans, but they blow Kiss out of the stage in terms of pyro.
Yes.
But that's my story with Rammstein.
And now Hannah.
Oh, when I was very young and sweet, and well, I think 8 or 9. I was staying at my parents' house, and I was unsupervised, and they put me in front of a television. Well, I knew how to operate the remote control, and somehow I ended on MTV for the first time in my very young life, and there was Ohne Dich, the music video of that one, which had just been released on TV. Must have been around 2004, 2005, and I got immediately hooked. The song never got out of my head, and it was one of the first things I ever searched when I got my first computer, and immediately went on YouTube, searched that one, and I found it, and I was in love. Somehow I got my father to buy me the first 2 records. I think Reise and Sehnsucht, I think. And from there on, it just went wild. I wouldn't listen to anything else for like 2 or 3 years. Yeah. It just got very crazy. So far, I've seen them 4 times. We'll see them next week for the 5th time, and I already have tickets for next year. They're my favorite, without doubt. And what I love everything about them: lyrics, music, live performances, interviews, everything, music videos. For me, they're just perfect.
There's one thing that I envy Rammstein. They do different in Europe than America. In Europe, they can actually do the whole shit of pyro. In America, not so much.
For the stadium tour, the pyro is so massive. I mean, I've seen the festival shows, and they're getting bigger every time. I mean, literally the ceiling of the arena, it seems like it's on fire. It's so crazy.
All right, well, time for our lists. But before the actual lists, we got honorable mentions to go through. Of course, I'm going to save Hannah for last, because I got a feeling how many she's going to have. I shall begin. I have 4 honorable mentions. Can you believe that? In just a few months I gotten into them more, I actually got 4 honorable mentions. First, I got Fire Fry from Mutter. And also, I remember first hearing this song from the Triple X movie in 2002. And
Obvious.
And then I got into the whole song recently, and it's a pretty heavy, fast tune, I must say. Next up is one of 2 songs from the new album I got on my list. In honorable mentions. Was ich liebe. Really, really love that song.
I love that one.
I love that song, especially how it starts. At first, when I hear that opening beat, I'm thinking to myself, am I listening to Closer by 9 Inch Nails? And then it turns into something completely different. So I really like the diversity on the song with the vocal styles, the low and then a little more mid-range. Next up, Henna will probably be shocked this one isn't in the actual top 10. Engel is on my honorable mentions. I thought about tying it. I thought about tying it with another song in the actual top 10, but the song that I have in the top 10 that I would have been tied with, I just like a little more. And then last, America. One of the first songs I got into and saw the music video. Thought it was pretty funny.
It is.
And I like their satirical take on American culture, and I thought it was pretty funny. Like a bunch of like people from around the world in Africa and the Middle East either having ice cream, Coca-Cola, smoking, drinking beer, what have you. And one of the few Rammstein songs I've heard where there's English lyrics in it. Granted, just the chorus. We're all living in America. America.
Coca-Cola, sometimes war.
Yeah. So, definitely one of their funniest songs to an extent.
Yet
but that
still
is
political.
And it's my 4 honorable mentions. Artur.
I actually have 6 honorable mentions, and it wasn't that just like the other sets. It's never easy, but we always have to leave some of them out. Just something that Sam Dunn should do in the Lockhorn stuff instead of tossing them out. HM honorable mentions, but that's just it. My first honorable mention comes from the new album. It's Deutschland. I love that riff. I love the song. The video clip, despite what everyone says that it's racist, that is all this anti-Semitic and stuff, which I have to say, go get your asses beat by Antifa. That's all I gotta say. Second, and this just break my heart to put it on honorable mentions. Mein Herz brennt, the first one from the Mutter album. I mean, that whole orchestral stuff is just so beautiful, and I love this one the most. Instead of the just the piano acoustic stuff. Just to give out some love for Rosenwald, which may be my least favorite album of Rammstein, but just to give them some love. Benzene, I do enjoy very much Benzene. Heirate mich from the Sehnsucht album. It was one of the first songs that I heard when I saw the Live aus Berlin DVD once, and it was great.
It's intense.
Yeah. This may not be from an album per se, but the Hallelujah song, which was a part of an EP, it's still so beautiful, still so droning. And also to give out some love for Liebes für Alda, the B song, which is censored all, but you hear Till always sing Buchstaben. So these are my.
Ricky.
I have 7 honorable mentions. I have Ohne Dich, which, strangely enough, was a song that Hannah introduced me to when we barely started talking. I didn't know about that song before her, and then she told me about Ohne Dich. Beautiful song.
So beautiful.
High Fish, probably one of my favorites from the
album. That's one's good one.
It was hard to put this one on my top 10. I had to make some cuts. Engel, again, makes on the honorable mentions list. Again, tough decision to put it. The title song, Rammstein, from their debut album. So dark, yet so electronic, so industrial. Rammstein, the opening track from Levi. That's probably the song that I wish Rammstein could open every single show, because it's so heavy and just seems like
I'm not saying that Ram 4 is bad, but I think that Ram 4 is more comedies in a way than it is an actual song.
No, I think. Is it Ram Lied or Ram 4?
No, he said Ramliet. I said Ramfia.
Okay.
The newest edition from the album, Deutschland. I love that song to death. Pretty catchy song. And last but not least, a song that I think it was last year in the World Cup when Germany and Mexico were going to play. I told Hannah and Archer, I hope they play this song to be their anthem. Te quiero, puta!
Puta! I love the trumpet. Trumpets are so funny.
Hey,
Vamos, vamos, mi amor.
And a little cameo from Kamikaze via Twitter just popped up. Thank you. Hannah, I'm going to predict you have 10 honorable mentions.
15 honorable mentions.
Exactly.
Exactly what?
Exactly 10.
Ha!
Here we go.
Oh.
Might as well make yours a top 20 list, I guess.
I have some double. Double songs and stuff. So
She's crying.
no, right now I'm laughing.
Some people cry themselves laughing.
Yeah.
Also, I sometimes do that.
I did recently whenever Kamikaze did his Morgan Freeman impression and was reading fan fiction, so there you go. But anyways, Hannah, you may begin.
Oh, Ricky, are you done with yours?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, sorry. Well, I went a bit over the top with my honorable mention. The first one is from the Liebe ist für alle da album. It's Ich tu dir weh, a song about sadomasochism. And the thing with it's my favorite song out of this record, but I consider Liebe ist für alle da the weakest record out of the discography. I usually wanted to have a song from every record on my top 10, but I had to cut out Liebe ist für alle da altogether because I'm not too much into it. I think some of the B-sides of this record are stronger than the actual songs, but that's just my opinion. Then the second one is Herzeleid, the eponymous from the eponymous debut record. I simply love the lyrics of these songs, although they are very simple. I mean, it's when you marry and you get this cards, this congratulations cards. It's basically what's on most of these cards, that you shall stay together and make the best out of the time you got. And this song, I mean, I love it live. Whenever Till sings that, especially on the live aus Berlin record. Then the third one is Rammstein, the actual song. I mean, it's the only song all of them have written together, and it's about the Rammstein air show disaster with 70 casualties. Very dark, very sinister, very graphic, very slow, very industrial. Everything Rammstein was about on those first two records. Then Mein Type, funny song about cannibalism. A man inviting another man, and he ate his penis. Very dark song. But I'm not the biggest fan musically of this song. I love what they do live on this with this song when Till puts Flake in the big pot and basically grills him, and it's getting more over the top with each tour. Amazing. And then I've got America. I love the political undertone of this song. The music video is hilarious, and I think overall it's a great song. Then I've got Radio out of the new self-titled record. I love how political this one gets, especially how they've grown up in Eastern Germany, and underlined the importance of the radio, since you could listen to Western German news and music. And then I've got from Rosenwald, Feuer und Wasser. Probably a song that's under the radar of most, but I love it. It's got a beautiful guitar solo on it. The lyrics are very poetic. The lyrical eye chases a woman, but they can't be together because fire and water are not compatible. Then I've got Stripped, which is the Depeche Mode cover. I think the vocals on this one are beautiful. They made Stripped a song of their own. I love that they used to play it live, and I wish they would again because I think it's just beautiful. Then Spieluhr, which I think from the Mutter album, which is, in my opinion, the better Mein Herz brennt. I just love how morbid it is. They bury this little girl or child, and he or she is still alive, and they find her again and get her out of the earth. And then the biggest surprise. My last honorable mention is Du hast.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it.
I think it's a great song, especially live. I love the lyrics, how you can interpret them. There's not just one interpretation, there are a lot. I think they're very lyrical, and I loved it. I like the song. It's a very good live song, and the music video with all those Lost Highway references and Quentin Tarantino references is simply awesome. But I think there is a better song, a better live song. I think Rammstein have two amazing live songs, and I prefer the other one with amazing crowd participation. I will talk about this one later. But sadly, Du hast only made it on the honorable mentions list. And now I rambled a lot.
As you do, Miss Hannah Klein.
I'm sorry.
So now we actually get into the top 10 itself. I shall begin at number 10 with my favorite song off of the new album, Poupee. Absolutely love that song, even though it's a ballad-ish tune, because it starts off soft, and then when it builds up to the second half and it gets heavier and it's very slow. And Till's voice, once it gets into the heavy parts,
it's like over the top.
Over the top, it sounds like he's suffering, which is like, whoa. That's crazy.
It really sounds like he's ripping the head off the puppet.
Yeah. Like, fuck you! Ah! Get the hell out of my life! So, yeah, that's my number 10. Poupee off of the new album. Hannah, you're number 10!
Well, I've got two. Sorry. I simply love Rammstein too much. The first one is Heirate mich. A funny little song about necrophilia. I mean, he goes.
I shouldn't laugh because I listen to death metal and there's constant songs about that, but I don't know. I
mean, the poor lyrical eye goes to the cemetery, digs up his former wife or girlfriend and has sex with her. And then the rooster disrupts them and he has to kill the rooster because dawn is nearing. Sad little song. I'm so happy that they put it back on stage again with the stadium tour. It's such a dark song, but it's so catchy. So dark and evil. And that's why I love Rammstein. They're love poets, but sometimes love is dark, and they sing about dark sides of love. And the same is true for the second song I've got on number 10, and that's Tier, basically animal in German. It's about a father who rapes his daughter. But then, when his daughter grows older, she kills him because she can't stand it anymore. I mean, it's again about love, and it's so emotional when he sings the lyrics. It's such a catchy song, but so dark. And that's why I love Rammstein, because love is not always a positive thing.
Are we in the top 10 love songs already?
I mean, my top 10 love songs could consist purely of Rammstein if I wanted it to be, but...
when we get to that episode next time, my list is going to be so bizarre. Ricky.
My number 10 is Firefly.
Bang, bang!
Bang, bang, yeah. I mean the song, the from the movie.
Okay, you son of a Texan. You just said my number one.
Oh! And it was only an honorable mention for me.
It isn't on my list at all.
Son of a Texan.
Oh god. Oh.
Oh boy. Happens
Already.
every single time.
Already it happened.
Anyway, love the song, especially live. The pyro mask and then Paul and Richard are just like with the flamethrower playing the guitar. Just think that's badass.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing it must get really hot with those flamethrowers.
You don't know how much it gets hot with those flamethrowers.
And a great song. It gets the blood boiling. Oof. That's it. Purified.
Artur.
My number 10, it is a bit of a song that involves dogs, angels' wings, and Christopher Doom Schneider dressed in drag. And I think it starts with the Metzgerweite. It's Mein Teil from the Rise album. I mean, it starts out low. You hit the Landers and Kruspe, they hit on that riff, and then that drony voice from Till Lindemann. And I know the song is about cannibalism and stuff. The butcher, one of the many butchers that Germany ever had through the centuries of history. But so did Portugal, England, and many other countries.
Everyone has those kind of people.
Not to mention Charles Manson in the state. But I mean, then, pun intended. Then it hits that heavy passage into the chorus is just so heavy, so dark, and it has all that power. So Mein Teil is my number 10.
All right, now number 9. Artur, you begin this one.
Du hast face.
It had to be done. I mean, yeah, it's a bit damaging to me to have it so low on my list, but just like Hannah said, it can get a bit overplayed in live stages. But you ask any person that hasn't heard Rammstein, 7 out of 10 they'll say the Du hast song, I think, is the most recognizable song in Rammstein's. For Odin's sake, it made the cut for Guitar Hero 5. I mean, just like Legends of Rock, Van Maiden's Heil also did. But there's a reason why this song is so catchy, so strong, and even when Linderman starts with a chorus and then it goes to 9, it's just so great. So, Blast, my number 9.
My number 9 is quite an interesting one. The first of let me count. First of I'm trying to make sure I got my numbers right on this. 1, 2, 3, 4 songs off of Sehnsucht, and it's Spiel mit mir.
Oh, that's a dark one.
Yeah, and I love how it starts with this orchestral beginning, and then it gets into like this almost dance-friendly part before it gets into the darkness. And the way Till says "Spiel mit mir" was.
Do you know what the song is about?
No, I do not.
It's about the older brother raping the younger brother.
Good lord.
Boy.
All the fun topics.
They sing about love.
In their own bizarre way.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my number 9. Spiel mit mir. Ricky.
My number 9 is Mine Time. Probably the darkest song, and the one song I was afraid to listen to because it freaked me out at first. Especially the whole cannibal thing. But the music video itself is creepy as hell. Even if you watch the making of the music video, it just gives me like I'm watching a horror or something. And especially the ending when they're dragging down like the streets like dogs, and that ominous at the very end of the out, but still fucking awesome. That should be a song. That could be a song in a horror movie.
Yep, I agree.
That ought to be an episode to make our own perfect heavy metal horror movie soundtrack. That'd be fun.
That I would add a bit of mayhem as well.
First song I would add is Left Hand Path by N2.
I don't know what the first one would be. There's too many to name off the top of my head.
Nightcrawler from Judas Priest, especially with that drum, especially with that spoken word part.
Any King Diamond song.
Too easy.
Or I'll go obscure and go with Disorganized by Impetigo. Alright, Hannah, your number 9.
My number 9 is probably the light song I have on this thing. On this list. And it's Reise, Reise. The title. Sorry, sure. I mean, it's the first song out of the Reise, Reise record, and it's about a fisher on the wild sea, on the wild ocean, throwing something in the ocean and getting the fish out of the water. I mean, it's very nautical, the lyrics, and I love how lighthearted it is with the accordion. And I think it's a great opening track. Very catchy, I like it.
Alrighty. Now we're at... Oh, hang on. Number 8. Damn you, Barney from Simpsons. Hannah, I shall let you begin at number 9. And by the way, Artur, your mic.
Yeah, your audio. Oh, that's a lot better. My number 8 is again a title track, and it's Sehnsucht from Sehnsucht. I mean, it's about desire. That's what Sehnsucht means in German. But the lyrics are quite mystical. You don't really know if the lyrical eye desires a woman, or if he gets her, or if he just wants to travel and want to be left alone. It's very mystical, and they have never clarified what the song actually is about. I think it's a great song. I love the music behind it. It's such a good live song. I love this one.
Enough said, essentially. Alright, Artur, you're number 8. That was weaker.
Let me see if I can do this justice. Let's see if I can do this justice, because my voice is still fucked up from Vagos. Yes, Sura meiner Gere. Seemann.
Hast Tränen
Exactly.
im Gesicht.
I don't do it justice, but I mean, as a ballad, I mean, it involves a bit of Navy. I'm not, and a bit more, which Hannah probably knows, but as a ballad, and I'll have another one here, higher on the list. You probably know what it is. But as a ballad, it's probably one of their best, along with On the Day. But it's such a powerful ballad.
Yeah.
Like, even when it starts with the acoustic stuff, and when they start, yes, Vesura. Even Nina Hagen made a cover with this with Apocalyptica.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah. So, Z-Man is my number 8. Forced, I know. Forced, I know.
Well, my number 8. I'm getting weaker and weaker by the moment. Oh, and Artur? It's like all I have to do is just say his name and he'll know what to do. It's like I control him with a remote, like Artur. Beep! Anyways, my number 8, I'm not gonna do it again, is Kein Lust. Another catchy song, and it's a very heavy one at that, and also the music video too, where they're all wearing fat suits. that was pretty hilarious. I remember I watched. Have
you seen the making of?
Not the making of. I saw a bit of it during like a Loudwire.
You have to see that.
But like,
I know, and I know that there's 2 versions of that video. One, which is I think the censored one, which all of them play, and I saw another one which they had
the flamethrower
with flamethrowers and such. And out of the sudden, when near the end, comes 2 women with the Firefly flamethrowers, and then a woman with a jacket on fire and such. I tried to search for that video, but it seems like they have removed it of the internet entirely, even from TV. I mean, I'm not saying that it does have something to do with the song, but it's that what happened.
But yeah, that's my number 8, Kein Lust. Ricky, what's your number 8? Damn it, I'm getting weaker. Why?
My number 8 is Hannah's number 9. Reise. Again, it's a catchy song. One out of 2 songs from the Reise album. Even though I don't know what I'm talking about, just love
fishing.
I just love the Reise. I don't know, like it motivates. Rise up from all the anger, all the shit in the world. You're better than everybody else. Keep moving. It's a great motivational song, in my opinion.
It's a great motivation to catch a fish.
Anyway.
I mean, that's what it's about.
Alright, moving on to number 7, and Ricky, you shall begin.
My number 7, and I think we all have this one, maybe, and it's Sonic.
I don't have that.
I don't have that on my list. It was close on my honorable mentions.
Oh, okay. Well, thank God, because I was like, I'm going to break the internet, but I'll probably break the internet later on. Probably Hannah's going to break it again. Just love that song. It's so dark, and the music video of Snow White, and you know, the mining gold. A great video that I saw when I was watching.
And then Snow White snorts the gold like heroin or cocaine.
It changed me forever.
Holy shit!
If that changed you forever, try to read some of the Grimm brothers version of some of those fairy tales. It will destroy your childhood forever.
Yeah. I mean, I've read those stories, but again, I've never got to see Snow White the same again.
Alright, Hannah, you're number 7.
My number 7 is Du riechst so gut. from the Herzeleid record. It's such a great live song. Again. It's such a great live song. What they do with the bow that shoots this little pyro fountains, and everything. I mean, it's basically about the chase of the lyrical eye of a woman, and he seduces her again, love. And in my opinion, it's the catchiest song out of the Herzeleid record. They still play it live. It's a staple, but it's such a good song. The music is very catchy, but harsh in a way, yet beautiful. Perfect, and I love the music video. Not the first one, the second one, where they turn into wolves and haunt this kind of duchess or whatever it is.
I never understood why they made 2 music videos for that song. I mean, the first one was perfect.
The thing is, they had little budget when they released the first album, and the record company wanted to have a music video, and then they shot it themselves. But it's kind of awkward, and then they had enough budget and were supposed to release another music video in '89, and then they just were like, well, it's a great song, let's do it again.
Yeah, because I saw the so like oh wow.
Alright, Artur, you're number 7.
Oh boy, my number 7. A song that every single army in the world should march. Links by 3-4. I mean, it's catchy as hell. It's catchy as hell. It has one of the best crescendos of all time. And, I mean, one of the best videos that I've ever seen, especially with the ants. Either playing football, being DJs, going to a cinema, watching the Rammstein. But the best thing, I mean, when the ants get attacked by the beetles, and then they start to march, literally links, and then they start to march. But even itself, the song, it's just great. I mean, like I said, it's catchy. It has a great rhythm to it, and even the crescendo when it goes several times linked. I mean, it doesn't need to be complex. It doesn't need to be overly technical to be a great song. And another staple of the live set, especially when he goes links and everyone, hey! So Links by 3-4, my number 7.
Enough out of you right there, because you'll get why here in a little bit. But my number 7, this was the song I thought about tying with Engel, Tear.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, both songs are so similar in the beat, but I like Tear a little more because it's a little, like, they're both, in my opinion, yeah, it's more aggressive of the two, but also, in my opinion, maybe a little more, dare I say, dance-friendly of the two, and also, and earlier you brought up it's about animals and stuff. It's so catchy.
It translates to animals, but from the perspective of the daughter, the father turns into an animal who rapes her.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There, my brain goes to the shitter.
No, I mean I'm German. I have dissected the lyrics thoroughly. So.
No.
But yeah, that's my number 7 with Deer.
It's awesome live.
Now moving on to the number of the beast, number 6. My number 6 is the third song from Sehnsucht, Alterman. Love that song. I love the softness of it at times, but also the aggression, even though it's one of their slower songs. And plus, Till's voice whenever it gets into that, like, epic chorus. Wow. I can't describe it any further than that. So, Alterman, my number 6. I remember I first heard this watching like a metal albums from the 90s countdown. And this was the track that I was playing. I was like, this sounds pretty fucking killer. Listened to the full song months ago, and it's one of my favorites. Ricky, your number 6.
Well, Hannah spoiled it. It's Too Rich to Good. And I would say, speaking of dancing, Too Rich
It's
to
my number 6 too. It's my number 6 too.
Again.
At least you both had on the same number.
Here we go.
Oh, and we just got Mr. Fireblade has arrived at a very opportune moment.
And Ricky has turned big.
Yeah, now he's taken up the screen again.
Of course.
Sorry, okay.
Nothing new.
Too Rich to Good. One of those songs that you actually dance to, if you think about it, the rhythm. I just love Flocky how with the keyboard, how he does his rhythms that they're so techno that I'm not a techno guy, but if I was a techno, I would dance to that song. That's and Flocky is an underrated keyboard, the top 10 keyboardists in metal. He's very, very underrated in all
Yes.
of the songs. How he does
I would agree with that.
to everything.
But Ricky, you should read his biographies, his autobiographies of Lake. They are funny as hell.
I'll probably have to finish the Bruce Dickinson autobiography.
Alright, so since Mr. Fireblade has just arrived, we'll real quickly get your 10 to 7 before we get to your number 6.
Okay. For number 10, I have America. Number 9, I have one of the weirdest songs ever created. Hilarious, but women's privacy pussy. Weirdest song, but hilarious. Number 8, Radio. And number 7, Deutschland.
Alright, and now in depth on your number 6.
Number 6, I'll try to pronounce it as best I can, but I do know it did appear in the soundtrack of Triple X, and that's the song Fari Ray.
Feuerfrei.
Yeah. And I think Arthur has it on his list too, because he seems like can't believe he said.
Well, he had it at number 1 on this list. It was in my honorable mentions, though, but still. So,
It's a catchy,
Hannah.
great music video, and it does match the whole atmosphere of Xander Cage's action movies.
Alright, Hannah, your number 6.
My number 6 is Rosenwald. Again, an eponymous song.
That one.
The thing with Rosenrot is I love this bass intro it has, and it's such a catchy yet heavy. But what I love most about this one is the lyrics. There are a lot of references to Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, and he is like, I mean, if you know German literature, he is like the Shakespeare of Germany. Whenever you read Shakespeare in America, we read Goethe in Germany, or we are forced to read that. And the lyrics are kind of a reference.
Shakespeare. He's He is English. He's not American.
Yeah, but I mean in English literature.
Yeah.
I meant that. Sorry if I said it the wrong way. And the thing is, it's about a couple. And the woman sees a rose on top of a mountain and wants her lover or supposed lover or whatever he is to climb the mountain and get it for her. And he falls to death. while trying to get the rose. And then there's this kind of line in the song that deep waters aren't still, and so she there's more about her, and she is the devil in this kind of relationship. The lyrics are very interesting, and I think it's the best song from Rosenwald, and it's a shame they haven't played it live. I have always wished to see that one live, but
That's probably one of the best songs from Rosenwald.
What?
That's probably like the second best song in my opinion.
All right, Artur.
Don't need to say anything more because it's the same one as Ricky. It's the Du riechst so gut. I don't need to say. I don't need to say anything. Although, like I said, I've seen them live three times, and that bow that he fires, and then he starts to spin it around with all the fireworks coming out of it. It's just so awesome. The image is great. So don't need to add anything.
All right, now we're getting into the nitty gritty, the top 5.
Oh yeah.
Raphael, you begin at number 5.
Well, my number 5 has to be the song Is Deutschland. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. Yeah. The beginning is amazing. The whole concept of the song, unique.
All right, my number 5, Artur, you son of a Portugal, was Lynx 234 at my number 5. I mean, just like you said, it's a great marching song, and I mean, I can't describe it any better than Artur did, especially considering he had it before I did. So that's my number 5, Lynx 234.
We're getting even now.
My number 5, and I'm wearing the America.
We're all living America. America. Probably their first English song.
No.
No?
They released English versions of both Engel and Du hast.
Oh, yeah. Well, I prefer the German version of Du hast better.
Everyone does.
I love America because it explains how much America has influenced the world, especially, Rammstein's. I forgot out of Germany. Who was in the Germany in Rammstein?
What?
Well, anyway, from Germany back in the day, east to west, when people broke, they were by American culture and how it expanded the world.
Oh yeah.
I just love that it's a funny video, especially when they're all.
No, and I find hilarious that they show kind of behind the scenes at the end.
And they were all wearing astronaut outfits too.
Yeah.
Because they spoof the moon landings.
Yep.
Yeah, the tribute to
It's
the
a conspiracy theory that the Americans were never on the moon.
Conspiracy!
I just
And bloody hell, what a huge conspiracy that is!
And again, Black now saying Black because he is like the secret weapon of Rammstein. Because if you notice carefully, Rammstein songs don't have guitar solos. They always leave Black for the piano.
Not many.
No.
Except a couple, they always leave it to Black for the solo, which I think is great. And Rammstein songs are to play the guitar, simple riffs. That's about it.
Of course.
Alright, Hannah, you're number 5.
My number 5 consists of B-sides, so songs that haven't been officially released. And I've got 2. The first one has been mentioned by Arthur, I think. It's Hallelujah. In my opinion, it's the better Zeig dich from the new record. Both deal with child abuse within the Catholic Church, but whereas Zeig dich is simply about accusing the priest, Hallelujah lyrically showcase what the priest is actually doing to the poor boys from the choir. Basically, the priest abuses the boys from the choir, and so that God does not see him, he simply turns around the picture of God on the wall or Jesus or whatever. And it's so graphic, it's so dark, and then you've got this literally choir singing Hallelujah in the background. It's so creepy. I get goosebumps every time I listen to that one. It's such a dark one, and I'm still asking myself why the hell they never released that one on Mutter, because it was only a B-side for Mutter, and it's such a good song.
And they played it live several times in 2016. When I saw them at Hellfest. I saw them play that one live, and I was thinking, from which album is this song? Because it's so beautiful. But then again, it was a B-side, but I was shocked that they would play a B-side.
It's underrated. It's highly underrated. I saw them play it at Pink Pop and at Grass Pop the year later. Such an amazing song. And then the second one, I'm not sure, has anyone heard of Wilder Wein? This is a B-side out of the Herzeleid Sehnsucht days. It's a very slow, very atmospheric, very deep ballad. It's very slow, don't get me wrong. Lots of synthesizers during the end of the song. You also got guitars. But what stands out for me in this song is Till's singing. It's so deep, so emotional. The song is about a lover chasing for his loved one, and everything fits if you listen to that song. It's such a perfect song, and again, a shame that they have never officially released that one, even though they played it for the live album Live aus Berlin, and it's so theatrical with all those torches in the background and Till singing it, and the mariachi guitars. It's awesome.
Artur, you're number 5.
Like I said, Levi. Whoops. What happened? Like
Your
I said,
camera
Levi,
went
we were. It's good now. We're going to get even because my number 5 is your number 6. It's Sehnsucht. From the same album titled Sehnsucht, but it's just so powerful. That guitar tone, that lower guitar tone, then you start to hear almost like an Arab choir, and all of a sudden, I don't understand the lyrics too much, but it has something to do with Mexico. I never. Sorry.
They're weird. The lyrics.
And there's something about Mexico which I never understood. I never understood why, but that riff that he does, especially when Krusp and Landax, they go down, no. I don't know the tunes or whatever. The Sehnsucht song is just so great, so powerful, and even with that guitar tone, it makes it even better. So. Sehnsucht, my number 5.
Shall I explain what the Mexico thing is about?
If you want.
Well, it's an interpretation, but this guy has desire for something, and he's searching for love in this case, and his finger is searching for the love, and then his finger firstly is on Mexico and then on Africa, but later it glides in between the ocean, and it could be a metaphor for the woman. He finds the entrance because it gets into the ocean. It's a bit weird, but
I regret I am.
And by the way, Artur, your camera isn't showing for me. It's just
Still.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
weird.
Oh, Discord.
What can we do with all your defects or technical difficulties?
Sue you!
It always happens. Screw you, die! That's pretty much a staple at the end of every video I put out. I'll either put that outro in or the Gary's Mod one, because those are my two favorites that Kamikaze put together for me. And there's the camera. So,
I don't know what happened. My Discord just crashed, so I had to restart it again. So, but I'm back. So,
alright, number 4 time. Mr. Fireblade, you shall begin.
Number 4 is the name of the band itself, Rammstein. I'm assuming you had in your list. Forgot to put your list, Levi. It's your number 1.
What?
Not quite number 1.
But it's on your list.
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole concept talking about what Rammstein is, how they form, what they're about. Great music.
Alright, Ricky, you're number 4.
My number 4 is It's the Way.
It's their way, which is my number 5. It's their way.
And I'm sorry, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it's too little.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sorry, I apologize. I just love that song. That's my favorite from that album. And I don't know, this song that you have to go to pornographic.
Yes. And no, Pussy is that one.
That one's Pussy, yeah. Yes, that one is, because Pussy is based on porn. It's a sex related.
Pussy is porn.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, I've seen
Too big.
live videos where they bring out the penis cannon.
I'm looking
yeah.
forward to that next week.
Oh, Lord.
When I saw that.
So we
That was
have
hilarious
Hannah,
when Linda
a
Mann
woman,
just came
say
on
she's
and-
looking forward to the penis cannon.
What's wrong about that? It shoots foam and confetti.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spread your love to the masses. Literally, quite literally.
Demonetized.
I mean, Rammstein are all about love.
Just the fact that he said
and the
that.
road twisted.
I broke you, Levi. I literally broke you.
Ah.
No, I remember Sam actually showed that in one of his interviews with Till Linderman.
Or as Ross would say, I pushed my fingers into my eye. Ross, that's
If
a
only
good
that was a
mistake,
t-shirt.
by saying
If
that.
only that would have been a t-shirt, I would have bought that.
Or bought it. Man, that would have been the perfect t-shirt.
Whenever you 3 visit, or you 4 visit Germany, I will present you with a T-shirt with that printed on there.
Fucking penis cannon.
Oh god.
Anyways, before I lose my mind even further, where the hell were
That
we? I'm
cannon, so I
completely
know what she's
lost.
talking about.
I am so lost.
Okay, I think you were talking, number 4, you're talking about It's Their Win. It's to win, yeah.
Nice song about sadomasochism.
Who all has given their number 4 so far? Because, like I said, I am lost after that.
Well, Ricky,
I haven't.
I gave mine, so the only one
Okay,
missing.
so it's just me, Hannah, and Artur left. So,
Yes.
Artur, you're number 4, as I unmute you. With my
In a
special
way,
remote.
in a way, Anna just said a bit of a song about fishing, but I think that it has a bit more of a patriotic tune to it because how can you not say Reise, Reise, Seaman, Reise, and you cannot be a bit patriotic by it? So it's Rise, Rise. I mean, it's a great song, especially with the crescendo and stuff, with the choirs as well. That also give a little bit extra punch to the song. And as a startup song, and Rammstein have done very good first songs in many of their albums. Mein Echtbrand, Wollt ihr Regaste Bremen, even Sehnsucht itself, but Reis Reis is just so epic in a way. So
I agree.
That's my number 4. Reise Reise.
My number 4 has been spoiled quite a few times. Mein Teil. That's my number 4. Probably one of, if not the heaviest Rammstein song I've heard. Like the riffs, man. The riffs galore. Of course, the lyrics about cannibalism, eating a dick, literally. I can't believe that's a thing.
And he really did that. And he videotaped himself while doing that. The cannibal.
Yeah. Disturbing, but you have no chance to survive. But by all
He's
means,
still
go
in
ahead.
prison.
Oh,
And
go
one
on.
of the funny things about the song is that I remembered Loudwire put out like 10 songs, 10 disturbing songs that people
songs we
love,
love.
and this was one of them. And I'm like, when I read the lyrics and know what it's about with cannibalism, I'm like, yeah, that's a pretty good reason.
But you could put a lot of Rammstein songs on there.
Like, holy crap, it's about
Very well could. You very well could. So yeah, my number 4, Mein Teil. Hannah, your number 4.
I'm from Germany. My number 4 is Deutschland.
Of course.
I think it's the best song out of the new record. I immediately fell in love when I heard it for the first time. I mean, I don't have to say anything about the video. The video is brilliantly, especially if you're a history nerd like I. There's so many awesome references from Herman the German to modern day stuff in there. It's simply amazing. And then you've got the lyrics. I mean, if you're a German, we have a very dark history and are very conflicted still to this date about our heritage. I mean, are you allowed to be proud of being a German, or are you not? Are you supposed to be ashamed of your heritage? And the song perfectly deals with this kind of conflict. I mean, you drive through Germany, you won't find German flags. If you drive through the Netherlands, you find Dutch flags. If you drive through Poland, you will find Polish flags. But in Germany, you won't. And you will never hear the national anthem except for when you are at a soccer match. That's the only time when you will hear that one.
Especially with that controversial verse that they had, because I read it. It's a forbidden verse. Deutschland, Deutschland, über alles.
The first and the second stanza are prohibited. You are not allowed to sing them. Only the third one. And I mean, that shows how Germans deal with their nationality and kind of patriotism. Patriotism doesn't really exist here. And the song perfectly describes how Germans feel about Germany. I immediately connected with that, especially with the video. There are so many dark chapters in our history. I mean, every country has that, but none are so affected by it than us Germans. I mean, we lost 2 wars. Luckily, I must add. But it still touches us. We still deal with it, and we are not done with it. And the song perfectly summarizes that in a very a very brilliant way, actually.
Talk about controversy.
Yes. But this time not about sexual controversy.
I think that was the only that they added that pussy song, but Deutschland creative. Long live Germany.
You will not say that when you are here.
I know.
Promise you that.
Oh, we won't.
You can say vodka.
You can say Bakken, yeah.
You can scream beer, sex, pussy, whatever, but not long live Germany or something like that.
Yeah, of course.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
Or even you can sing. Or even
Nobody will care.
Schlager after a few pints of beer.
After all, quite a few porn stars I've watched over the years are from Germany, so there you go.
But
It's a
German
win-win.
porn is creepy.
I do notice this, just a little tidbit. I noticed that in quite a few, like, German porn videos, the women like to get fisted. Quite a bit.
Yes.
So, there you go.
Oh, like,
Now I'm feeling ashamed.
I think I broke Ricky. I broke Ricky.
I mean, it would be really weird if he would be like, now, what is that actually?
Okay, I feel like now because of that, this video is going to get a community guideline strike until I appeal it. Anyways, Hannah, let's start with you at number 3.
I have 2 songs. I
don't think
simply
we're going to
couldn't-
recover from that conversation we just had.
No, we know.
no.
When I was talking about my honorable mentions, I said that I had Du Hast on there. I was talking about a very crowd activating. I think Rammstein has 2. First one is Du Hast, which of course didn't make it, but the second one did. It's Ich Will.
Ooh,
I
damn.
think out of the 2 ones, I prefer Ich Will, and the fact that they now close their stadium tour with Ich Will, kind of revealing in this kind of context. It's just such a powerful song. It's about controlling a crowd and getting them to cheer, but also questioning them why they actually cheer, because Rammstein themselves couldn't understand their success in the beginning, and it's perfect. The lyrics are perfect. The music is perfect. It's just so energetic.
Even the video clip shows that they're going to blow up a bank, and people are cheering,
Yes.
crowding around Rammstein to see what's going on. And it's just as you said. I mean, they did not understand why they were so successful. Now they can understand a little bit better, but I think that they're successful to me because they did something that not many bands can do. They sing in their mother tongue and they still make shitloads of money by doing
Yep.
it.
Yes.
Yep. And the second song is Engel. A bit of history. Or Arthur, do you want to say something?
Gott weiß, ich will ein Engel sei. Engel ist mein Number 3. You understood what
The thing with Engel is, why do is highly successful abroad, and every foreigner, I mean, from my perspective, knows Du Hast. In Germany, it's a bit different. In Germany, instead of Du Hast, everybody knows Engel. It's the only song that ever got a lot of radio play here. I mean, people play it at parties. It's like the only ever hit Rammstein had in Germany. It's about not wanting to be an angel, rather not being an angel and rather being naughty. And love this kind of fire and the chants. And I mean, God knows I don't want to be an angel. And the video, I love this kind of From Dusk Till Dawn video with the women dancing with the snake and everything. It's just so iconic, and I love this. Every German, I mean most German know this song and they will sing and they will dance and they will cheer and they will do whatever the hell they want to. And
I
for
also
me,
did when the female vocalist. They had a female vocalist.
yeah,
as
it's
well.
Bobo. It's a German singer called Bobo.
Wow.
All right, Mr. Fireblade, you're number 3.
I kind of ruined it. It was Itch Wheel. Number 3 was it.
I'm ruining everybody.
I'm genuinely shocked the song I have at number 1 hasn't been mentioned yet, but I don't know.
I know what it is. I know what it is.
Well, hold on a second, because I'm gonna say my number 3 right now. My number 3, Du hast.
Number 1.
That's Mr. Fireblade's number 1. Yeah, of course, probably the most famous song by the band internationally, and one of their fastest, one of their heaviest. It's so iconic when you hear Du hast mich. Yeah, that's just so iconic. And especially seeing the live videos for that song with the damn rockets and cannons and shit. Like, good lord. That would be quite a thrill to see live, no doubt about it.
It is.
So yeah, that's my number 3.
Especially when you're standing underneath it.
Oh boy.
That would probably freak me the hell out.
No, you are high on adrenaline and you cheer and go crazy.
Alright, Ricky, you're number 3.
My number 3, for a long time, this was my favorite song. Mine Friend. Especially the music video, like, I mean, what to say about that song? For Rammstein,
Raphael, could you maybe mute your microphone?
Yeah, because the background's overpowering what Ricky's saying.
Hold on. Okay.
Oh, what would the show be without technical difficulties, I swear.
Oh god. There we go. So I was saying, my head's bent. Freddy Krueger had a theme song, Rammstein, that would be my choice. So Dream, he fits him perfectly.
Alright, Artur.
For those that didn't understand what I said, despite the God weiß ich wer ein Engel sei, Engel is my number 3. I mean, I love that ballad. I mean, if it's not my number 1 ballad, it's going to be my number 2 song, which I'll be mentioning in a moment. But as soon as you start to hear that whistle, and you start to hear Flaccus starting to play the keyboards, and then it's a graduation. It's an evolving song.
Of course.
And afterwards, as I said, I know someone here in Portugal who has tattooed on her shoulder, "God weiß ich wer ein Engel sei." Really like that in German, and I even understand the lyric. It's about a man being a man, not being an angel, not being a demon. It's just being him. And even he says, really, God knows that I don't want to be an angel.
Yes.
I personally don't. Not that many people want, but
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
And all those that say they want to be angels are either corrupt, liar, or they're politicians. But it's beautiful, and even live, the one thing that I don't like currently with Engel is Till Lindemann singing, and on the back you hear a playback version of the girl singing. I know that in Live aus Berlin they had the they had a girl in a cage, which I do believe, and if I'm not mistaken, it was Krusp's daughter who was singing with them.
No. Anna,
No,
Anna,
that was a German singer called Bobo, and she also was there for the live concert. So she's the same who sang it on the CD.
Then my mistake. But that's the real downfall to me. I don't know if they can hire a full-time woman singer, but
they should hire
live
me.
context, despite he has the fiery mechanical wings on stage. When he starts to sing and you hear the woman on the back vocals, it drains a little bit because you want to hear the woman singing. But nevertheless, still, it's a fantastic song, a fantastic slow song, which I'm shocked to hear that it's played in parties all over Germany. But it's just that. Engel
Germans
is
know that one.
Alright, I'm pretty sure I got everybody's number 3 there.
Yep.
Alright, so now we move on to the top 2.
Zwei.
And I shall.
Click.
That's gonna be my new thing from now on. My number 2. My number 2. I hope I don't take a number 2 when I say this. My number 2 is the song Rammstein. One of the first songs from them I got into. Probably their most doomy song, if I could use that term rightly, because it is very slow and doomy and very industrial. And one of the few Rammstein songs with a guitar solo, and the solo is badass.
And it was featured on Lost Highway.
Yep. Even the music video had scenes from that movie, too. And then, of course, with Live back in the day, Till would have the fire jacket and fire would come off his arms. Like, that was so crazy. So, yeah, my number 2, Rammstein.
Dive.
Oh, Artur, I'm just waiting for you to rip my heart out with your number 2, depending on.
The song that almost broke Rammstein apart.
Oh no!
Oh god.
Wait, what?
Which one?
Mutter?
Mutter.
Oh.
I broke Rick.
And me!
I broke everyone.
Completely. I wish I could see that as a replay.
I can see why it's number 1 in most lists, but I mean, if number 1 best slow song of Rammstein's career, it's so powerful. I mean, even the lyrics that talk about being abused by your mother, violence. Violence. It is. It's so drowning. It is so disturbing, and even the video clip. I mean, Till Lindemann being the boatman to get food to his son, who is trapped underneath of a pit. I mean, I don't know what that has to do with mothers, but...
oh, I will tell you later.
Okay, then don't spoil. But that's just it. I mean, it's so drowny, so doomy. The best slow song, as I said, in Rammstein's career, whom they've said on several interviews, even though people want them to play them live, they won't, because, as they said, it's the song that almost broke the band apart. But if they never played it live, I have no problem whatsoever.
They have played it live.
Yeah, but if they will never play it live again, I can understand that. I mean, I'm not those overhyped fans who want to hear Mutter, Mutter, Mutter. If I hear it, okay. If I don't, that's no problem at all. I mean, they're entitled to it. So, my number 2, Mutter.
What a happy podcast.
Ricky, what's your number 2? Why have you done this to me? Ricky, you're number 2.
My number 2, it's Du Hast. The first Rammstein ever. Probably the most overrated Rammstein song in existence. The catchiest Rammstein song ever. The most popular song. Since I've never seen Rammstein live, I know they played it every single time. If I can see them one time in Du Hast, they play it, and after, I'll fine with it. But I need to see it one time play Du Hast.
Come to Germany. We will go together.
Of course. We're going one way or another.
Du Hast.
Mr. Fireblade, you're number 2.
My number 2 has already been mentioned many times by both Arthur and Hannah. That's Anger. There's not much to say. Anger is creative. Talking about you don't need to be an angel. I don't want to be an angel. And I hope they put that German singer again because she did amazing that song.
Hannah, you're number 2.
I'm afraid that I have 2 songs again. The first one is the first ever Rammstein song that I listened to, and that's Ohne dich. A beautiful ballad about the lyrical eye searching for his lost loved one, but he will never find her. And he just can't live without her, and every second drags on, every minute seems like an hour, and so on, and he's so heartbroken, and the song is so sad and yet beautiful. I mean, I have always called Rammstein black romantic, and the song perfectly describes what Rammstein are, especially in this ballad. It's pure black romanticism. And then the second one is also from Reise Reise, a song that directly follows on the album, and that's Amour. It's again about love, but in this case, love hurts. You fall in love, you want to tame it, but in the end, it catches you, it holds you out from the inside, it destroys you. And both songs together are so powerful. Both are kind of ballads, but so beautiful together. And I love the guitar solo on Amour, one of the very few ones, and they have never played Amour live. No, I think once. They have played that one once, but never again. And it's one of the songs that I wish they would play live, because it's so beautiful. I get goosebumps every time I listen to both of these songs.
All right. Time for number 1.
Oh, yeah.
I shall begin this one considering Artur basically murdered me for a moment. My number 1 is Multa. I mean, probably, one of the saddest, darkest, most beautiful songs Rammstein have ever written. The music video to it, I'm not gonna lie, I listened to the song, then I watched the music video. No joke, I actually cried because it was so good. And, of course, when I looked up the meaning of it, basically about how a child was born in an experiment and having resentful hatred towards a mother, but also exploring the themes of love and hate with a mother. And And just the way it starts with the baby cries and stuff, and then Till's voice being so soft, and then that part towards the end where you hear him go, Mutter! Like, basically just getting his anger out, and then all the way through to the end of the song. And I also love the symphonic element of the song as well, which added a whole other darker atmosphere on top of it. So, while I don't know if I'll ever forgive Artur for nearly killing me on this day, but my number one...
He is a Portuguese madman, so that's his job, isn't it?
That's his gimmick, I suppose, but still... I have not done that on the show yet, where I fall back on my chair to the floor.
And,
there's always the first one.
Madman, his head is the last Portuguese madman. His head is on display at a museum near my house.
Oh, jeez. Anyways, Hannah.
My number one is Mutter as well. Like Levi already said, it's the darkest yet most beautiful and most powerful song Rammstein have ever released. I mean, it's about a child or a person conceived artificially without the mother and without the father. So you basically, the child has never experienced being in a womb, being loved, and everything. And while he grows up, he's frustrated. He on one side he searches for his mother and longs for the love, but on the other side he wants to kill her. And there's this passage in the song that talks about moles. I mean, in German they are called Muttermal. So basically the marking of the mother, or a mother's marking or whatever. And he has it, but he has never known his mother. And usually it's a sign of hereditary whatever shit. And he wants to cut it out, even if he has to bleed to death. And there's such strong emotions in this song. Especially, I mean, everyone has a mother. We love her and sometimes we hate her, but in this case it's taken to the extreme. And the way Till sings and screams mother in the end, it's so powerful. It touches my heart every single time. It's morbid, it's beautiful, it's black romanticism at its finest. It's the best one they've ever released. And the fact that the music video, not the song, the music video almost split the band, because not all 6 of them were in the music video, tells how important this song is to the history of this band.
Mr. Fireblade.
My number one is probably the first I ever heard from Rammstein, that was Du Hast.
Ricky.
My number.
What? We didn't hear it.
Didn't hear because you said it, then you kind of.
It was like, well, my number.
And then like they're editing you out like you were saying bad words or something.
Oh. Yeah. See what you made us do, Artur. 3 of us had Mutter number 1.
Like both Levi and Hannah said, darkest Rammstein song ever created, the most beautiful song ever created. The music video. I also cried when I saw the music video. And then it wasn't until probably when the new album came out that for the first time I looked at the lyrics in English. Those are some dark lyrics.
Yes.
Very, very dark for Rammstein, but yet it's Rammstein to understand. Yet it's so beautiful, and I love the end. Oh, give me
strength.
Give me strength. Oh, it just warms my heart. It talks about, the issues with our mothers. I mean, we don't have a mother. We love hate her. It's just life.
Alright, and Artur.
Feuer frei!
That's fine. Although this is not the first time that I've committed multiple homicide here. I mean, in the Iron Maiden, while most of you had Iron Maiden held Be Thy Name as number one, I had
Power
Slave
Slave.
as number one. So, not the first time that I commit multiple homicide here, but I mean, yeah. Firefly, it's basically the first song that I've ever heard, and it's not because of Triple X. I mean, when in Portuguese television they were broadcasting a bit of a more alternative content, especially in its music video, I saw for the first time Ich Will. I saw for the first time Ich Will. I saw the Links video as well, but the one that got me the one that got me more interested in it was Firefly. I mean, despite having that connection to Triple X that I haven't seen it at the time, the guys having those mouth flamethrowers, that's a great image. I mean, and especially when I saw them for the first time live with the Liebesfuralda tour, their third song was Firefly. I couldn't believe at the time that I was going to see that for myself, that I was going to see that with my own eyes. All of a sudden, you hear Akka going on the keyboards, and then some red light comes out. Horsemen, Landers, and even Teal, they had the flamethrowers, and it was always in the part bang bang.
Feuer frei!
No, exactly, but they were throwing the flames out of it, and even the song itself is awesome. I mean, that guitar the guitars once again. I think that in European aspects, Landers and Kroos might be a bit underrated. I'm saying just in Europe, I'm not saying in the world, but it's because of that Linderman's voice, and even Flaka's trying to over touch some of the keyboards. I mean, yeah, he is a great keyboardist, but he's also the punching bag for
Till.
every Rammstein member, including Till, and especially for Till Linderman. So, despite the multiple homicides, Firefly is
Every night.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, brings this episode to a close. I don't know if I'll ever recover from nearly giving myself a concussion falling backwards. Or the porn talk. But then again, you're talking to a guy who has done commercials for a porn star 4 times within the last year, so it's bound to be expected. But nonetheless, that was our top 10 Rammstein songs. Next episode, it's gonna get bizarre. Top 10 love songs in metal. My list is gonna be so unconventional, it's gonna be eyebrow raising.
Mine is going to be mostly either visual kei or glam metal.
Actually, I think on my actual top 10, I don't even think I got one glam metal song on it.
I would have at least maybe.
That was a moment.
That was
Oh boy.
I'll see you.
Buenos dias.
Oh man. This episode is just full of surprises, isn't it?
It's strange.
No, it would be hilarious if you had when you fell off your chair in ridiculousness.
Yeah. But nonetheless, so that does it for this week's episode of the Horsemen podcast. No idea when we're doing the love songs and metal episode, but it's bound to happen. Don't know what we're gonna do after that, but we're gonna figure it out. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. See you next time.
Adios, amigos.
And by the way, just for you, Artwork. What?
Oh, good lord!
Holy fuck! Oh, oh my god! Ah! No!
Quit trying.
You had the gun too!
Oh shoot, I forgot.
You're my Tessa, oh god.
Oh my goodness.
Holy.
Somebody
What
shot
just
X.
happened to Carson?
Somebody shot or
I face planted a freaking container.